Hey everyone, AJ here from Whole Latte Love. Now, last week we posted a video with Gabby from Jura taking us through all the features of the new Jura Enna 8 automatic coffee machine. Well, I've been lucky enough to have this machine in my house for the last couple weeks, so I wanted to post an in-home review of my thoughts about it after putting it through its paces. So the first thing I noticed when I put it on my counter was how small and compact it really is. I don't have a ton of counter space in my house, so the fact that it's only 10.7 inches wide, 17.5 inches deep, and 12.7 inches high really fit while leaving me some room still. So let's make a couple drinks. We'll start with espresso. So the grind size adjustment is right up here on top. I have it set right in the middle right now because the last thing I made was a long coffee. You generally want it to be a little finer grind for espresso. And when you're changing the grind, you really want to do it while it's moving, especially as you're going finer. When you're going coarser, it doesn't really matter as much, but what I'll do is I will press espresso and then immediately change the grind finer right when it starts grinding. So, and just like that, we are all the way fine. It says it'll brew 1.5 ounces. This is a really small glass, so that may be too much. If we start to overflow, I can stop it. So if I see us getting towards the top here, let's say that's how much I want. I press cancel, I press save, and next time I brew an espresso, it's going to stop exactly there. So we'll put that aside. And the next thing we'll do is a cappuccino. So for the milk, I generally just take it out of a glass. I just take my milk hose and stick it into a glass. Jura makes optional accessories like their cool control, which is an actual like refrigerated unit that'll sit on your countertop, or they have their glass container, which is a little more luxurious than this, but I'm doing this review with just what comes in the box stock. So I'm just showing how I use it, which is just milk in a glass. So if I go through my menu here, we've got cappuccino. This isn't the ideal cappuccino glass, but it'll work. Let's say I want to make that a little stronger. We'll go up to 4 beans. There's 10 different strength settings. I usually keep it between 8, 9, 10, something like that. It's telling me I've got 14 seconds of milk foam. Now the Enna 8 does one type of milk foam. It's more of a frothy foam, which is great for cappuccinos, a little more airy. Some of the other Jura machines, like the E8, they'll let you kind of choose which type of foam you want between a more frothy one or a more fine micro foam, like for lattes or something. But this is just the airier froth. And some even of the premium machines, like the Giga 6 and Z8, they will automatically change the type of froth for you. If you can hear that sound, it's pretty quiet, but if you hear that vibration sound that's happening, that's what Jura calls the PEP, which is pulse extraction process. And what that's doing is it's pulsing water through the espresso grounds as it's pulling your shot to get a better extraction and bring out more of the flavors in the coffee. When you're brewing something like a long coffee, it doesn't use PEP, it just does a constant flow of the water through the puck. So there's my cappuccino. You can get that nice cap of airy foam on the top. Now you'll see on my screen you've got this red logo right here. That wasn't there before. And what that's telling me is that's just a reminder to clean my milk system at some point today. You don't have to do it right now. You don't have to do it right after your drink, but it's telling you that at some point, once a day, you should clean the milk system to keep everything sanitary and lasting a long time, things like that. Some things I did notice that I really like about this, let's say I make a drink and I'm out the door in a hurry. After 15 minutes, it will automatically rinse the milk system on its own. It won't do a full clean of the pipe, the tube, but it'll rinse the internals, it'll rinse the spout, the nozzle, and it'll generally either go into your drip tray or sometimes I'll just leave a glass under there so I can dump it out later and come back to it. Similarly, when you turn off the machine, it will automatically rinse whatever system you used. Don't mind my dog out there. So if you used coffee, If you just made a coffee, just made an espresso, it'll rinse the espresso system. If you made a cappuccino like I did, it will rinse both the coffee system and the milk system. But again, that's not a complete substitute for the once a day full rinse using the Jura cleaning product and their system. Let me actually grab it right here. That just goes under the spout. The tube goes in here, fresh water, and it'll constantly rinse and cycle. I timed myself yesterday when I was doing my daily rinse, and it took 2.5 minutes. I think it was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And that's just automatic. There's one point in the middle where you have to exchange it for fresh water, but it's super easy. You just swap it out, press go, and it'll clean everything for you, including your milk tube, so everything stays nice and clean. So let's make another drink. I really like latte macchiatos, and I really like them in this small glass for some reason. And I've pre-programmed this to fit in my glass because I drink this one on a daily basis. So if I press latte macchiato, full strength. And what this does is it will dispense your milk, and then for a pre-programmed interval that you put in, it'll just pause. And so like this says, it's 13 seconds of milk foam because I programmed that for my glass. It's coming out. And now it's got a 20-second interval, and during this time, the milk is going to separate in there. So you'll end up with your airy foam on the top of the cup and your more condensed hot milk on the bottom, with espresso right in the middle in a perfect layer. It'll count down that time as you're going. You'll see the progress bar there. And now I've got 1.5 ounces of espresso that are going to come in too. See that separation really starting to form there. The espresso is just kind of settling in the middle, and over the next 20 seconds or so, you'll see that separation happen even more as it kind of settles in the middle there. So I'll put this aside for now too. So one thing that I really like about the menu system here, you've got all your drinks. Start with coffee, espresso, cappuccino, and latte I just showed you. Flat white, you can see in our other video with Gabby if you watch that. Milk foam, macchiato, ristretto, hot water. What's really nice about the hot water is it's got a separate hot water spout right here. And the placement of that is better than some of the machines where it's over here and you got to move your cup and catch your hot water. The hot water is right next to it. So if I had, I'm running out of cups here, but let's say I had a mug here. I could catch my espresso, my milk, and my hot water all without moving my cup. So that's good if I'm doing like an Americano. I can make my espresso, it'll dump right out of there, and I can make my hot water and do the same thing without having to move my cup. Now notice on this machine, the Americano is a two-step process. So I do have to press the button for espresso over here and then go in and press the hot water. And there is some user intervention in there. Unlike some of the other Jura machines, the Giga 6 and the Z8, that is just a one-step Americano. But it is a true Americano where water is coming out a separate spout and not being put through the coffee puck the entire time. So like I was saying, something I really like about this machine is the customizability. And with most super automatics, when you're programming your drinks, you press and hold the button. Let's go to flat white. You press and hold the button, and that'll go into kind of a memory mode where it'll start making your drink, and then when you fill to the volume you want, you press stop, and it'll remember that for next time. With this, if I press and hold the button, it takes me into the program for that drink. So let's say I want to make my flat white with, let's say, 2 ounces. Save that. Strength, let's go all the way up, 10 beans, or 5 beans, 10 strengths. Save that. And amount of milk foam, 20 seconds. This will be a bigger drink. So that's all saved now. I can go back. So next time I hit flat white, it will make that with everything I just programmed. As I showed you with the espresso though, you can also change that on the fly. So let's say I'm making that big flat white and it's starting to get towards the top and it's gonna overflow. All I have to do is press that cancel and it'll stop my drink right there. And I could just do it that one time, but after I cancel, after my drink is done, there's also that save button that appears right here. I press that, it saves it for every time going forward. Up on top of the machine, you've got your bypass doser here. I like that with this, I've got this little slide right here. I can do this all one-handed. I've been shooting this video with one hand the whole time, so you can see how easy it is if you're working with something else or talking on the phone, something like that. It comes with a funnel, so you can just funnel your pre-ground right in there in case you want to do like a decaf coffee or something like that. If I'm not doing decaf, I always prefer to use whole beans, coffee, ground fresh for every cup, which go in here. You may hear that making sound. It's telling me I have not enough ground coffee because I didn't actually put any in. But the beans go in here. It's not the highest capacity bean hopper compared to some other machines, but it's enough for my use. Similarly, you've got your water reservoir over here. And the design on this is really cool. I like the kind of like glass look. It is plastic, but it's got kind of like a glass prism look to it. It is a smaller capacity than some other Jura machines. It's 37 ounces. But for me, in my household, it's only me and one other person. We're refilling this like once every 2 days. So we're making maybe 2 to 3 drinks a day, refilling it every 2 days. You can see I made those 3 drinks and it only went through that much water. And like any machine, this isn't going to be the perfect machine for everyone. If you're coming from a household of higher volume coffee drinking, maybe 10 drinks a day or more than that, it's certainly capable of handling that kind of volume, but you're going to have to refill your water reservoir more often. You're going to have to empty your drag tray more often, which is in here. That's where your used coffee pucks end up. The capacity on this one is 10, so every 10 espresso drinks, you're going to have to empty that. And it'll tell you on the screen when you have to do that. It'll say empty your drag drawer, empty your drip tray when you need to do that. Everything, you never have to guess. You never have to guess when to clean it, when to empty your stuff, when to refill your water. It'll just tell you what to do. And as you can see from my little army of drinks here, you can make different things with this. This was 3 of the 10 drinks that are preset in the machine. Different specialties for different kind of people with different preferences. And some days I may feel like an espresso, some days I may feel like latte macchiato, and I just kind of customize it based on that. Who this machine is perfect for, personally me, I don't have much counter space. I live in a house, or someone maybe in a small apartment, city dwellers, things like that, who kind of need the smaller machine to optimize their space. They don't have a ton of volume. This is perfect. If you need more space, more volumes, you can upgrade to the other machines with touch screens and more automation. But for what I'm doing here, and for someone maybe on the lower consumption level, this is perfect. So that's the Jura Ena 8. If you want to watch the full video of Gabby taking us through all of the features of the machine, click the link up here or down in the description. The Ena 8 is available for purchase today at Whole Latte Love, and I'll put a link down in the description to that too. If you have any questions about the Ena 8 or anything else coffee, leave a comment and I'll get back to you. I'm AJ and thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and come back for more of the best on everything coffee, brought to you by Whole Latte Love.